Hello and welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a bit different as I'm planning to just go out and scout a location and just take some photos while I was there, but I didn't really have anything to post this week, so I thought this could work quite well. I was originally going to bring my 4x5 setup, but since I've never really been to this location and it's a lot to carry around while I'm going to be riding on a bike, it's a bit too difficult. I've done it before, but I'd rather just not do it, going to a location that I don't really know is going to be very good. And if you're wondering why this video is probably titled something like starting a new project or something along those lines, it's because I want to start a new project for 2025. I feel like it'd be good going into the year with a new project in mind, and this is one that I've wanted to do for quite a while, but I've just never really done it, as I feel like it's a bit unoriginal. And that's because it will be about the history and culture of mining in Cornwall. See, this area where I live right now was once the heart of mining in Cornwall. It was the richest place in all of Northern Europe, really, and that was only just over 100 years ago. It was insanely profitable. It was making like thousands and thousands of pounds a day back in those times, so that's like a ridiculous amount now. It's all just gone to shit, really. And this place is just really now like a dead town, and all the surrounding areas are just like completely dead. So I thought it would be quite interesting to actually do a project about how much everything has changed, and I thought I'd bring you guys along for my first ever day of testing out the waters of this project. So I'm just gonna go now. This camera is really hurting my arm to hold. I've got it up on a tripod and it's killing my arm. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to pack everything up in my bag, get on my bike and drive over. So, see you guys in a second. Right, so I made it to the location. I was actually wanting to park a lot closer than this because the location is actually right over there. And I did try and park closer by going up this like dirt lane, but it was so dirty and slippery, I almost came off my bike. I don't really want to do that. So I was like, okay, before this gets any worse, I'm just going to turn back and go park here, because I knew this place existed, because me and Jen actually came here not that long ago, meant to be going to this place to take photos, and then I just had a bad time. I was just like, I had my GFX with me, realised I didn't really want to take photos of it and just wasn't, wanting to use the camera, so I was like, okay, well, let's go home now instead. But this time, got the XT4 for video and photo, so I'm hoping it doesn't die. If needs be, I'll record some stuff on my phone, because I primarily want to use the XT4 for photos. I'm not going to be talking too much in this video, mainly just photos, so then I'll just like sit down for a bit here and there and talk about stuff. I'm at a place called like Wheal or something. I've never been here before, I've never even heard of it until I found it on Google Maps like a week ago, but I want to see if it'll be good for this project, and yeah, so let's walk probably about a mile to where I need to be, and hopefully don't slip on the dirt, muddy, horrible road. So yeah, would be nice. Don't really want to fall over. Did bring my Doc Martens with me just in case. Yes, not yesterday. Last time I was here, I had my Converse, and they got trashed. So let's hope. Oh God, let's hope my Doc Martens are good enough. Oh, I was just walking away from my bike, and the car that I parked next to, the people came over because they've just been here, and they had a Nikon Z6, and I was just talking to them about it, basically saying how I want to get a Nikon. I'm selling my GFX and stuff, and it was a woman. She said definitely get the adapter that lets you use the DSLR lenses on it. And I was like, I didn't even think of doing that, to be honest. I knew there was one, but I was like, I'd rather just get like newer Z lenses. But she was saying how good it was, so I was just like, okay, I might actually have to then. And she says that she brings the camera around everywhere she goes, and I was like, I am the exact same. So, it's really nice just bumping into other photographers. A guy on a bike just went past and slipped on the exact same bit that I did. Not probably the best decision to be riding a bike up here. I didn't like slip off, I just went, whoa, and it was very scary. That's as close as I've come to actually coming off the bike so far. But yeah, don't really want to crash again like I did on my old one. That was not very nice. So, I just had a very interesting interaction. I just was walking down the lane, and then the guy that was on the bike that went past me was there. I just started speaking to him about stuff, and he was asking me if it was my bike that's at the front, and I was like, yeah. And he was like, I almost, I just slipped over here as well. But then we just started talking about this place, because he was asking me what I was doing, and I just said, I do YouTube, and I'm taking some photos and making videos and stuff like that. And he was telling me like, oh yeah, you might get approached by security around here. I was like, why would that be? And he goes, well, this is actually a chemical weapons base. And the more I look around, the more it makes sense, because there's these big fences around here that are, not very inviting. And he was just telling me about how when he was younger, him and his brother, I think, or his mate or whatever, they come down here and ride their dirt bikes down here, and they'd always get chased away by the security, because apparently the place has been used as a chemical weapon storage since World War II, which I had no idea about. When I looked at it online, I just saw Wheal tie, and whenever you see Wheal in Cornwall, don't know what it actually translates to, but there's usually some sort of mine shaft around. There's like the pulley system. So I was like, okay, it's just a mine shaft. But if this is actually a chemical weapons base, then that's very strange. But also, just look at this view here. Just wow. Cornwall is really beautiful. But then you get places where I live, that's been hit really hard by this deprivation of mining, because the place completely relied on mining, and in the 90s I think that was the last mine that was shut in Cornwall near me, and since before that it was just a horrible place, but since then it's got even worse, and there's no idea of hope. It's just misery, pretty much. And as sad as it is, I think that would be quite interesting to photograph that alongside these mines. I also don't know which way to go now, because there's a bit of a crossroads. I'm gonna go this way, because this is along the coastal bit. Also, I've just realised that my battery on my mics are actually about to die, so the rest of this video will be filmed on my phone. So I'm sorry about the drop in quality that you're going to see, but yeah, let's just take some photos. So yeah, I'll record the rest of this video on my phone, which, the quality isn't going to be the best, but I think it's better than having my mic die on me when I'm in the middle of talking, and my phone mic quality will be better than the quality of the mic on the X-T4. But while I've got you here, I just want to say how much I love this camera. Just using it to take photos is just a joy, and I really, really love this X-T4. And I'm hoping when I get my new camera, which will be a Nikon ZF, that I'm going to love it as much as this camera. And if you're wondering why I don't just get a, set of lenses for this camera rather than buy a whole new system, it's really as simple as I want a full frame sensor. That's something that has always bugged me with Fujifilm cameras, is the sensor. And that might sound a bit silly because, crop sensor and full frame aren't too dissimilar nowadays. The quality isn't, too crazy of a difference. But for me, it's the depth. I really like the depth that full frame sensors have. And I'm used to a medium format sensor, so I'd like to at least get as close to that as possible. Plus, lenses. I feel like having a full frame system will just give me better lenses. I know that the Fujifilm lenses are amazing, but having an f2 that's actually an f2 would be very nice, rather than an f2 that's actually somewhere around an f3. But anyway, let's just carry on walking to this place. I'm hoping it's as cool as it looks on the photos. The view is definitely better than it looks on the photos. Just look at that. Wow. Amazing. But this place up here, hopefully it's as cool as it looks on the internet. It might not be. It might be. If it's as interesting as the guy made it sound, then that's even better. So yeah, let's go. How much of a sheer drop do you reckon this cliff is? I reckon just straight down. Oh, yep. Oh god, that's horrible. Look at that bit just there. You really can't grasp the height through the camera because it looks quite compressed. That's probably a couple 100 feet. That's horrible. I kind of want to get closer, but I also don't want to die. For a bit of reference, I can't really see very well. I was stood about there, and it is just a sheer drop with loads of seagulls. Whoa, very nice. But struggle to get up this hill. It's really steep. It doesn't look good on the camera, but Jesus Christ, this is steep. Definitely chose the right way for a good view of the cliffs down there, but it really wasn't the right way to get up here. I was shattered, my heart is pumping out my chest. Oh my god, that was so steep. But I've made it. Oh, I reckon there's some interesting photos here. The light's terrible, but this is just a scout. This is just to see if this place could be good. By the looks of it, looks quite interesting, especially that there. What is that? Not sure if you can see very well, but there's like a tunnel going all the way from there up to the whatever that is. I would say it's a chimney stack, but it's definitely not. Very weird. Even though it's early January, it has gotten so warm. I'm wearing a hoodie underneath this jacket as well because it gets very cold riding a bike. But now, oh my god, it feels like summer. It's really nasty. But here we have a little information plaque. So I'm going to read this, see what I can find out. So, just from reading this mine was like all the buildings around here that are actually like visible, they're all from the 1920s, and this big concrete thing here, which you can't really see because it's so bright, but that big concrete thing there, that's where the pulley system was on top of. And apparently this place never opened after 1927. It just closed down and never opened again, so this hasn't been opened for 98 years, which is just crazy. But it was used to mine tin and copper, and that's like predominantly what the mines around here actually mined. And I think Cornwall's known for tin, like the majority of, you know, the mines. But yeah, very interesting. I need to read a lot more of these because it'd be great for this project. I can't just leave you guys like that with just phone quality, so I thought I'd come back and just use the remaining bit of my battery to talk to you about this project. I originally came up with this idea back in college, but it really wasn't anything else other than just the idea of photographing mines, and it sort of just sat on the back of my list of things to do with photography. But the more I got out last year that I had these mics, and the more places I explored with Jen, the more I became interested in creating a project around these mines, because it's like really interesting to Jen, who isn't used to seeing this stuff, but for me it's just like, yeah, whatever, because, you know, I grew up all around these places. I'd come to these places, you know, with my family and stuff. But the more I look into it as I've gotten older, it's a plane literally flying right above me, but the more I looked into it when I was older, the more I became interested in the actual history. And I thought I would just, you know, try and do a photo project about, you know, these mines and the history and everything. And I'm not really sure where I want this to go. That's the only thing. I'm not sure what I want the photos to look like. I'm not sure where I want this to go. But there's a lot of historical texts and photos of these mines and lots of information out there. And I think I just need to look at it and find out what I want to do with this project. But I think it would also be really cool to actually go and photograph the towns as well, because in a video a long time ago, maybe like last year, I spoke about projects and creating a project and thinking in terms of projects. And one thing that I said was you could, look at the mining history of Cornwall, then think about, how the surrounding area was created to prioritize mining, and how these towns were literally built for mining. Like, the majority of the time, there wasn't much around these mines, and then, suddenly there's a big booming town here. And it's very similar to the mines in America, actually, where there'll just be a whole town built because of the gold rush. And now you look at them and it's just abandoned or it's dying, and it's very, very similar to here. And I think that's probably because a lot of Cornish miners actually went over to America during the gold rush and, other mining exploits, and set up those towns. There's actually places in America and Canada that, well, in the US and Canada, that they have a lot of Cornish heritage, which is really weird. But I think it would be really interesting to create a project around this idea, and bringing you guys along for the first ever outing. I guess you could call it the second, since I did go to Boltalic Mine to photograph some stuff there, but I was just toying with the idea then. But now I think this is my first time going out and actually trying to plan this. But just reading some stuff on that plaque was quite interesting. This place actually opened in the 1800s and was used extensively up until the early 20th century, and then it was just never opened again for whatever reason, even though they tried to open it again, because there's still a lot of ore below the ground. It just, for some reason, it never happened. But that seems to be the case with a lot of mines around Cornwall. There's still stuff here under the ground, but I'm guessing because of Thatcher, even though that was the 80s. But I'm guessing she fully put it to rest, being like, yeah, no mining anymore, nuh-uh. The mines could open again, which I think South Crofty actually is. The place where I live could be very rich, because there's a lot more ore around there. I think there's also zinc underneath Cambrai and some other stuff, but yeah, very interesting history, and I want to capture that in photos somehow. So, yeah, anyway, I'll let you guys go and just see some photos that I take around here. I think this will probably be the end of the video, because I kind of just want to take some photos and then get out of here, because it's getting so warm and there's not too much here. So take care, look at these photos, see you later.